unfortunately, her life was taken in that July. And so we never actually physically connected. But she was definitely an amazing person. And she sent her love and her support for the Black Wall Street that I was forming here. She sent the logo for the Black Wall Street of Tulsa, Oklahoma. She told me, she said, Jacqui, I'm so proud of you. You have more businesses and your properties than we have in Greenwood and Archer. And I was like, wow. She said, you're doing amazing things over there, and I'm so proud of you. And I was so honored to hear that come from her and to get her, her support and her love. So I can't give up on what was created. I cannot.
All right, so boom, welcome back to another episode of the Black Caliber Podcast, and we're honored to sit down with Jacqui. I'm reading it. Jacqui. It's French.
Yeah.
It's French. A dynamic powerhouse who wears many hats. She's the owner of The Chill Spot, a haven of community and connection located at 36 West 25th Street. So definitely come hang out. It's a great place. They have art. It's a nice vibe. I'm sure they play music. I seen some of their speakers in here earlier. And they have some great coffee that I may be sipping on throughout this episode. So definitely do stop by, come hang out. And she's also the founder of the Black Wall Street Expo, dedicated to uplifting Black entrepreneurs. She's also a school counselor shaping young minds. Beyond that, she's a visionary, a business leader owning 5 commercial properties that house 31 Black-owned businesses. And as the founder of Notre Maison Connects.
Okay, good.
I said it right? A nonprofit bridging community gaps and the CEO of Executive Suites. Jacqui is a redefining success while making an impact. So get ready for a masterclass in resilience, business, and community empowerment. Right. The first time she was like, that was such a great intro. Now she heard it already.
That was such a great intro. Thank you so very much.
It's fine. So I'm gonna start with a different question. So I noticed a lot of things so far are French. So where does that come from? I clearly assume you speak French, but
je parle un petit français.
Yeah,
and that's about as much as you're gonna get from me. No. When I was in high school many years ago,
don't look that long ago.
I know, baby. God is good to me.
Absolutely.
I
Black don't crack.
Problems with sharing my age. God willing, I will be 58 in January, and I'm full of life and full of love and full of laughter.
That's phenomenal.
Don't let me look. Let me get started. I'll say I'm close to 60.
Definitely don't look a day over 40.
Thank you. But when I was in high school, I had an amazing French teacher, Madame Menifee, and I loved French. And so I continued along the way with French, studying French. And I just stopped. As I got older, I stopped. But I was reconnected with, I was connected with a friend of mine who is from Senegal, who speaks fluent French. And he would only speak to me in French. So I taught Oliver some French commands, and Oliver is my Pomeranian. And I just play around with it a little bit. But Notre Maison is French for our house. So that's where Notre Maison comes from. And Notre Maison is my brand that I started 2002. And it's in everything.
Oh, okay. That's dope. So, one secret about me, I took Spanish since kindergarten.
Okay.
Right? I took it all the way up to 11th grade. I don't speak a lick of Spanish.
Oh, no.
I don't speak a lick of Spanish. I look at you. You saying, I know colors and fruits.
Colors and fruits.
I know colors. So, your teacher must have really been like that in order for you to really pick up and still be able to remember some of these things years later. Mm-hmm. So, that's really dope. So, back to my first question. So what is the Chill Spot? Like, what was the inspiration? What created this space?
So the Chill Spot is the spinoff of my first venue that I started in 2002 called Notre Maison Tea House. Notre Maison Tea House was a quaint little spot as well, where but it had 2 floors. So on the first floor, there was a pool table, and you could come in, practice pool. You could play pool. And it was a comfortable place where, as a woman, I liked to play pool, but I didn't like to go to certain places and play because you have to bend over the pool table, to make your shot. And when you go to pool halls or certain environments, the stairs are just uncomfortable. So in Notre Maison Tea House, we had 2 pool tables, one upstairs and one downstairs, and it was a very comfortable place for you to come in and practice and to play, to be with your friends and just chill and do some practicing.
Okay. So then you created this spot. So was this like your step up? This was like your next move?
No, I can't even say that. Is because Notre Maison Tea House really ran for 14 years. So downstairs on the first floor was a pool table and a kitchen. On the second floor was 2 rooms. One was another pool room, and in the larger room, we did open mic and poetry. Had a stage, and we would have open mic and poetry for 14 years. It was a wonderful environment. We had strict poetry rules, no profanity, no vulgarity. My daughters worked at the Chill Spot when they were in elementary school, so I did not want them to hear who or what you did the night before. I did not want them to hear how people body parts almost hit their knees and their navels, and that's none of their business. They're in elementary school, so I had very, very strict rules about that, and they were respected, and it challenged the artist to not be vulgar.
Yeah, because actually one of my line brothers, he does poetry.
Awesome.
And so that's a really big thing. So that's dope, especially given platforms, because I feel like that gives a lot of outlets for different people to do a lot of different things and stop themselves from doing a lot of other things.
Well, it was amazing. It was really an amazing experience. Notre Maison Tea House. A lot of the poets, it was refreshing to me to see some of the most amazing poets in the DMV come. And even if they didn't perform poetry that night, sometimes they would just literally sit in the back of the room and just vibe. And just, even if they didn't go up, it was always an honor to hold Hipster, and this is way out of your age range, but Hipster and Lamar Hill and Complex and Talam AC. I mean, you're talking about some of the heaviest hitters in Baltimore's poetry scene back then, and it was just amazing to see them come into the house and walk through the doors. And that's just a few. Mike Shellington, Pamela Johnson. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of the heavy hitters to come through, and it was just love all the time. In Notre Maison, it's always a place of home. It's always a place of comfort. Again, Notre Maison is French for our house. So when you come into our house, no matter if you're coming to the tea house, if you're coming to the executive suites to conduct business, if you're coming to the chill spot at Notre Maison, if you're coming to Notre Maison Connects, that's the nonprofit working with the youth, it's always a feeling of comfort and safety.
That's very important. So now you have all of these businesses, but what really sparked that first like entrepreneurial step for you? What was that?
So my mom, for sure. My mom and both of my parents. My dad was very humble. My dad he worked as a warehouseman, but he also did his little fruit and vegetables on the side of the road, and he loved that just because it gave him peace. He didn't have to do it, but he enjoyed doing it. But my mom, man, she's a powerhouse. My mom is in her 80s now, and she still paints and mow her lawn. She paints in her rental properties. She goes there and fix things and clean up things. And I'm like, go ahead, little shorty, because I always get my inspiration from her. She's so awesome. And when I was a little girl, I remember that my mom worked for the housing department. She worked for the NAACP. She worked, and while she was doing these things, she still owned her own business as the a seller. Back in the day, we used to have the Tupperware lady. The Tupperware lady would come and host Tupperware parties at people's houses and sell Tupperware. The Avon lady would come and sell
the Avon lady.
You know, sell Avon products. But my mom was the jewelry lady. So she would get these amazing pieces and she would go to people's houses and do jewelry parties. To this day, I still have some of her jewelry. And it was a costume jewelry back in the day. Nothing compared to the stuff today. Like, I still have some of her pieces that are still gold and that are still silver that were costume jewelry back in the day that she purchased. And it's just amazing quality of product. But she taught me business. And when I was in the 11th grade, she said, okay, I'm going to take you to the store so you can start your own business. We're going to go to the warehouse and so you can buy cases of candy. Now you sell your go to school and you sell your candy at school. And I said, yes, ma'am. And I did that. People would come to me, give me that, give me this, give me that. And I started selling candy. And I liked that. People were coming to me for supplies and I was making a few dollars and I was doing well with it until I had an incident and I was robbed. And that really kind of shut me down for a while.
I can understand that. So then it started really, you said in 11th grade? So that's high school.
High school.
So then coming out of high school, you started, I'm guessing you went to the workforce?
No. So coming out of high school, I went to college. But I always loved art. I love art. And I taught myself how to draw. So I also used to dance, ballet. My mom put me in ballet classes when I was a little teeny girl. And I tickle. I just get such a tickle every time I see the little pictures that she had. I'm gonna share one day, but I used to always love to dance and draw. So I just took my art from one thing to another. My oldest daughter also draws, but she draws way beyond my score. Her art skills are way beyond mine. And when she was in probably middle school, she could outdraw me as an adult. And so kudos to Aaliyah.
Okay. So what school did you go to?
I went to Northwestern High School.
Yeah. I'm at college though.
College?
Yeah.
I had my Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science from Morgan State. Go Morgan Bear all the way. Oh, Lincoln. Okay. But I'm a Morgan Bear.
The real orange and blue.
Whatever. And I have my master's from Johns Hopkins. I had my master's in counseling from my master's in education from Johns Hopkins, and I graduated in 3 years with a 3.8.
Okay.
And I'm dyslexic.
Ooh. My mom's dyslexic.
I let nothing stop me.
You're not supposed to.
That's right.
So you said you went for arts and political science.
Nope.
That's what you said. You said for your bachelor's.
I said I had my Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science.
Okay. So, all right. So I just misheard.
That's okay.
All right. You had me confused.
I love art.
Yeah, you had me confused. I was about to say, no way, I just folded. All right. So you got your Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. So what sparked that? Because that's usually a lawyer track or a politician.
Exactly, right? So when I was in high school, my mom had this friend, and he was a lawyer. He was sharp all the time. He always wore a gray suit of some style. He had a gray Porsche and a gray Cadillac. He had a gray poodle. I love poodles. He lived in Randallstown when black folks did not live in Randallstown, and he had a big house. So I was like, ooh, I want to be like that when I grow up. So I decided to study political science at Morgan so that I could become an attorney and do some big things too. And then as I matured and realized that I was going into this for the wrong field, for the wrong reasons, and I did not like politics at all, and I did not like to study history, and all of my classes, just about all of my classes were history classes in college. I realized that was a big mistake. But instead of quitting and giving up and just deciding not to finish my degree, I continued with my degree in political science, and I went on to just pursue other things. And that's when I started working here or there to determine what it was that I really wanted to do.
Oh, okay. And I'm noticing throughout the things, certain themes coming out. Like, it's a lot of themes of community and like how you're bringing people together is important to you. You said like your mom, she was the first person to pour into you in certain things. And you talked about your kids. Your kids have the same hobbies you do. And I'm guessing you give them platforms and you was giving them jobs. So I think that's really dope. And then also perseverance, because you said you don't let nothing stop you.
Absolutely. My oldest daughter is dyslexic as well. And she is an owner-operator of a tractor trailer. She has a CDL, and she absolutely lets nothing stop her. She moved to Atlanta to study biology at Georgia State when she was 18. She's 33. She still lives in Atlanta. Actually, she lives in Buckhead, one of the richest counties in Atlanta. When I go to her house, I'm like, oh, okay, that's my girl. She buy me the stuff that I don't want to spend money on to buy myself. I know that's and right. Then my youngest daughter is 30. She moved to California when she was 18 to study acting and modeling in California. So it's very important for me to teach my daughters to be strong women, period. To be loving, to be nurturing, and to be strong, and to persevere through every obstacle that may come your way. It can be worse. It could be better, but it could always be worse. So go for it.
It's phenomenal advice. Like, and it was very motherly. Like I felt the vibe.
Now, see that motherly vibe that you just felt is what I give to everybody I encounter. Like my friends, my co-workers, my students, other children that I'm around. I don't care if it's a stranger on the street. I'm going to give them that same love and encouragement.
All right. So you went into all these things. How did you get into the Black Wall Street Expo and all these other things? So what was that journey like? So,
okay. So can I kind of back up for just a minute?
Of course.
Okay. So when you asked me about business, right? So my mom told me, she said, Jack, when you move out of my house, I want you to first she said, before you move out of my house, and this is, and I need you young people to really understand this, right? She said, before you move out of my house, start a hope chest. And I was like, what's a hope chest? She said, you start collecting everything that you know you're going to need for your apartment before you move. Okay.
He be saying this to me all the time. That's right.
Because when you move, you're gonna be focusing on your rent and your security deposit. So when you see bath towels on sale, get them now. When you see pots and pans on sale, get them now. When you see certain things on sale, get them now, put them in a box, store them, put them on the side. Because when you go to get your first apartment, you're gonna be focusing on being comfortable into your new place. You don't want to just go into your first apartment with nothing. So have some things on hand already. So my mom taught me that. So by the time I really got my first apartment, I had cases and cases. I had a chest. I started with a hope chest. I started with like a chest you set at the end of your bed or something like that. One of my old grandma kind of chest. I started with that. But when I actually left, I had wall to wall cases of stuff that I had saved for my first apartment. Then she said too, when you get your first property, when you buy a house, I want you to buy a duplex. She said you rent out part and you live in the other part. The part you rent out pays your mortgage. I said, yes, ma'am. My mom did not steer me wrong. Okay. I said, yes, ma'am. So the first property I purchased, I lived in maybe about 4 apartments before I purchased my first home. And I purchased my first home when I was 24. And we lived on a second and third floor. Actually, it was a building similar to this. We lived on the second and third floor. I rented out the first floor and lower level as a single unit apartment. That apartment paid the mortgage note. I purchased that property for $30,000. My husband at the time was a carpenter, and so he did carpentry work. I did carpentry work. I sold the building 7 years later for $220,000. Business, right? Business. Now I got into carpentry not by my husband, not by my dad. I got into carpentry through my mom because my mom was just amazing. So my mom used to take us around. I'm so jumping the subject around what you asked me, but this is how it all kind of started in Black Wall Street. So my mom used to take us, because I'm the middle of 5. She used to take us to this hardware store on the corner of Reisterstown Road and Rogers Avenue. It was Hilltop Hardware, and Mr. Harvey would be in there, and Mr. Harvey was a older black man, and my mom would go to him and say, Harvey, the roof is leaking. Harvey, the windows need scraping or something. Whatever the problem was in our little house on Reuben Avenue, she would go to Mr. Harvey, and this was before Home Depot and Lowe's. She would go to Harvey and say, Harvey, this is the problem. How do we fix it? And Mr. Harvey would say, you need this, this, this. So one day my mom went to Mr. Harvey and said, Harvey, our porch roof is leaking. We need to fix it. Because we didn't have money for contractors. Harvey said, okay. Mr. Harvey said, okay. So we walking around the store like this. Just carrying everything that he was giving to my mom to buy. And then he took us to the back parking lot, and he said, you put down the paper, you stagger the shingles, you do this, you do that. My mom turned around and looked at me. She said, Jacqui, you got this because it's your job. Pay attention.
I'd have been sick. What you mean?
Exactly. I was like, how inside, and I don't care what children say nowadays, you had no choice but to say yes ma'am. Period. You know, yes ma'am.
I'm gonna make a face though, but then I'm gonna do it. Right.
You can't even make faces. You can't even make faces. You have to say yes ma'am with confidence and security. Otherwise you might be on a parking lot floor with the tile with the shingles. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm in trouble because I'm not confident.
You were built with confidence back in the day. You understand me clearly. So my mom said, you got this. And inside, of course, my lips said, yes, ma'am. But inside, I was like, oh, Lord, I'm afraid of height. Like, how am I going to do this? The porch roof? I'm a girl. You know, all of these things are going through my head, but inside I'm like, oh no. But outside, I'm just like, strong. I'm a soldier. Got this. So the day came, honey, I had to shingle the porch roof. I climbed out the bedroom. I climbed out her bedroom window. Mind you, I had 3 brothers. I'm the middle. I had an older brother and an older sister. I'm the middle child and 2 younger brothers. But I was assigned to fix the porch roof.
Somebody had to do it.
Exactly. My mom was like, it's no girls and boys in here. You all gonna learn how to cook, sew, clean, everything that needs to be done. You all gonna learn how to do it equally. So, some of us took the things differently. Like they all took the cooking, not me. I'm gonna hire a dad to cook.
Yeah,
stuff
I hate cooking.
I don't like to cook.
I hate cooking. It's not that I can't.
Right.
But I don't want to.
It's just not my thing.
I'm hungry, making the food. I'm smelling it. I can't eat it yet. It's not a fun experience.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
And you cook it when you hungry, so now I gotta wait 2 extra hours. I just order food.
Yeah, I'll just cook something light, just real light.
Some rice. I eat some rice.
But we just all took to different things, and but we all know carpentry. So I learned my carpentry. I saw some friends walking. They would like, Jack on the roof. So I knew when I got to school.
It started leaking?
It did not leak for over 25 years. Okay. Baby, I did that thing. I did it, okay? I knew the people were going to joke me in school the next day, and they did. But instead of cowering, instead of looking down like, yeah, my family can't afford to fix, to pay for whatever, I said, yep, I did that. It's like, Jack, you was outside fixing the roofs. Yes, I did. I did that thing. It started to rain, but I was too excited. So I finished working in the rain. It just started to drizzle a little bit. But I was so excited. So fast forward, I do a lot of carpentry in my own buildings. I have a tool collection that's a pretty nice size. It takes up a quarter of my house. Mm-hmm. I have, when people who know me, they don't give me Bath and Body Work cards. They give me Lowe's cards. Mm. That just tickles me.
She's
Lowe's
so happy
card.
about it.
Yes. I can go buy tools, so that excites me. And I always like color and pops of colors and designs. I like to create and I like to build. Mm-hmm. So that's why I had the tea house and I was always doing work in there. I have an amazing contractor who is one of my dearest and best friends. And he's been working with me since my first building in 2002. Then for the Black Wall Street Expo, what I did was I started with my nonprofit organization. And I had a lot of things over the years, just collecting a lot of things. And so with that collection of things, I decided to have a yard sale because in my community, they have a lot of yard sales. I said, well, what if I have a yard sale on 25th Street? Yeah, that would work. I'm going to have a yard sale on 25th Street, right outside my office. Then I said, well, if I have a yard sale on 25th Street, other businesses in my buildings, because there's so many businesses in my buildings, they might want to have a yard sale too. So I'm going to invite them. Well, if I have a yard sale and they're all invited, I wonder if other businesses on the block want to have a sale that same day. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And so that's how Black Wall Street started. And so the first one wasn't actually called Black Wall Street. The first one was called the Charles Village Business Walk. And then people came and we had 12 businesses to participate, but more people signed up and didn't show up. So I was disappointed because I had people over here, over there.
They weren't all close together.
Right. And if I'd have known that you weren't going to show up like you said you were, I would have put everybody all together. So I felt really bad that she was all the way over there by herself because people said they were going to show up and they didn't. So I said, the next time I said, I'm not doing it like that again. I'm not doing it like that again. So I assigned spots and there was a larger fee to hold you more accountable. And but the next time I said, okay, well, people think that the Charles Village Business Walk is just for businesses in Charles Village, and it wasn't. So I said, okay, I'm gonna keep it named that. It's just that we were located in Charles Village, but I'm gonna make sure when I put the word out, I'm gonna say all businesses are invited. So okay, more businesses registered and more businesses participated on our second one. But I noticed then that they were all black owned businesses. Okay. So I might as well name it the Black Wall Street Business Walk. So what I did was, I know there's a lot of Black Wall Street titles and names and stuff everywhere. But I'm a little special sometimes. And I realized that. So what I did was I reached out to the president of the Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Sherry Gamble Smith. And Sherry and I just hit it off immediately. We was like sister gals, and we would talk periodically. We just call each other and talk sometimes. She was really a cool person. So for the next event, we were gonna come. She was gonna come to Baltimore. But then COVID spiked and her trip was canceled. So the next time she was gonna come, and something happened. I forgot. Oh, we had to change the date because it just rained too bad. So she wasn't able to come. So I said, I'm gonna come. She said, well, look, I'm having a Juneteenth festival. Come to that. I said, I would love to. When is it? It was the day we were gonna be going fishing, because our nonprofit organization has a big fishing trip every year. So so we were going fishing. It's the Father's Day weekend, and it's the whole weekend. So I couldn't go to her event then. So she was gonna come to our September event. Unfortunately, her life was taken in that July. And so we never actually physically connected. But she was definitely an amazing person. And she sent her love and her support for the Black Wall Street that I was forming here. She sent the logo for the Black Wall Street of Tulsa, Oklahoma. She told me, she said, Jacqui, I'm so proud of you. You have more businesses and your properties than we have in Greenwood and Archer. And I was like, wow. She said, you're doing amazing things over there, and I'm so proud of you. And I was so honored to hear that come from her and to get her, her support and her love. So I can't give up on what was created. I cannot. And so it was called the Black Wall Street Business Walk for maybe about 2 or 3 times. And then we changed it to the Black Wall Street Expo just to make it shorter. The Black Wall Street Business Walk was a lot. And the Black Wall Street Expo is a celebration of Black-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm. So if you're doing all of these great things, these big things, what made you decide that I still want to do counseling, I still want to work in the schools, instead of just taking your entrepreneurship full time?
So I get that question a lot. Not exactly like that, but people's like, what are you doing as a school counselor? Like, why are you still in the school system?
I think I know the answer, but I still got to ask.
One, I retired 2.5 years. That's my 30-year commitment, my 30-year promise to myself, my 30-year promise to complete a position that God put me in. And I have great benefits, and I have a steady income. So when things were slow, I always knew I had my income from Baltimore City Public Schools. And I love what I do. Like, I really genuinely love what I do.
That's really dope. And it's like I can see it. So I figured you were gonna say I really like working with the kids.
I do.
Yeah.
And that's why I have Connects. Notre Maison Connects, Our House Connects, because actually I pick up. So I'm a middle school I'm a high school counselor. I've been a high school counselor for years. I've been a counselor for 20 years, and I taught for 10 years. This year is my first year going back to elementary school. So part-time I work in the elementary school, part-time I work in the high school. But while I'm working with high school students, I see some amazing young people who weren't taught how to survive adulthood. And so they're going in clueless, and they're about to graduate. And these are great young people. So Notre Maison Connects work with 18 to 21-year-olds who want to learn, who want to grow, who don't want to stay in their current situation of ignorance. And so I take those students. I take the ones who want to learn. I'm not taking the ones that I'm going to fight with. I'm not taking the ones I have to say, why weren't you in school yesterday? Why weren't you in class? I'm not taking the ones I have to pull on and beg on. No, I'm not. We pay for driver's ed. We pay for CPR certification, first aid certification. Doing that certification, you could get your first aid, CPR, bloodborne pathogens, and mental health credentials. For free to you. We pay for it. And I have to beg you to come to class. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not begging you to come to class for me to pay for you to go to driver's ed. I got 11 of y'all. I got to pay for y'all to go to driver's ed. I'm not, what? I'm not doing it. And then, you coming because now you coming for the last few weeks of class because you want to go on our annual fishing trip. You messed up your attendance. You're not going. I hold you 100% accountable.
I love that, actually. How many schools is that in?
Well, no, it's here.
Just here.
Yep, it's just here on 25th Street, Notre Maison Connects. And we keep our group small because, see, I can give 10, 11 students my time and attention. I can do that. I can coach you. I can baby you. Sometimes I can hold your hand. I baby you. I can hold your hand. Sometimes I've had students who were in challenging home situations come to stay at my house. Like, your mom threw bleach in your face? What? Can I come? Yeah, you can come stay at my house. Come on. Stay at my house for 2 weeks. You're beautiful inside and out. It's not your fault your mom's an alcoholic. It's not your fault. These things are going on. You need a stable place to stay. So the Chill Spot actually offers employment opportunities for our youth. It's training and employment opportunities. So even though it doesn't pay that much right now, it doesn't pay that much, but you're safe, you have employment, you have some income coming in, you can save some things, you're learning. And what we're doing mainly is teaching you confidence and employment skills, because I want you to go into a place of employment and know how to get along with your coworkers. I want you to learn how to follow rules, because I wrote everything down and gave you a checklist. But when you go to a job, they're not going to write it down for you. They're not going to give you a checklist and say, they're going to tell you. So it's going to be your place to take notes and your place to get it done. So do what you need to do to get it done. And I'm lenient on you, but I'm definitely going to say, don't do this again. And this is why. Do this. Because, see, I don't just say do this, do that. I say do this because, and don't do this because. I'm going to train you.
It is like the sternness with the same amount of it's like.
Yep. Yep. One time, oh my gosh, the guys took the ice out of the freezer and they put it. I said, move this freezer to the back, plug it up, and put the ice in there. They said, okay. So they did that, but the outlet wasn't working.
They didn't check.
So they moved, they realized it, but they left. They took the ice out and put it on top of the other ice, but at that height in the dipping cabinet, 4 tubs of Italian ice melted. So instead of screaming and hollering at them, I never scream and holler at them. I told them, I said, now this is what's going on. Now we lost product. So tell me who decided not to tell me that the outlet wasn't working. And why would you put ice in here? Because I'm going to explain to you, but I want you to explain to me what you were thinking when you made this really ridiculous decision. And how come the 4 of you all together made this really ridiculous decision without feeling it necessary to have a conversation with me? Mm-hmm. The 4 of you. Tell me what happened. And then Michelle, I take responsibility because I did this, that, and the other. I can't even fuss at them if I wanted to because they just owned it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want them to do. I want you. Nobody's perfect. Own your shenanigans.
Own your shenanigans.
Yeah.
I like that. Own your shenanigans.
And then let's come up with a solution. But I tell you what, it never happened again. There's no need for me to raise my voice, fuss, cuss. No. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. So, what was your personal journey like? We're talking about your business ventures and that, but what was your personal journey, especially growing with these businesses and the ups and downs and things like that?
Well,
if that's not too invasive.
Nah, I'm an open book, baby. If I could teach you anything from my experiences to help you become a stronger person or have an impact in your life, I'm going to give it. It's free. Mm-hmm. You understand? It's free. And this is what we do on first Thursday. It's business bonus. We talk about business things and how to elevate each other's businesses. But growing up, I was always the smallest one. Cheese and crackers, I was always the smallest. When I graduated from high school, I weighed 97 pounds. And so either you loved me because I was the cutest little, hey, Jacqui, huggy. So I'm a very affectionate person. I hug everybody because everybody hugged me. But sometimes I was tired of being the baby. You know, I was really tired of being the baby. I was tired of it. I ain't had boyfriends because I was everybody's little sister and things like that. But it was. I got used to it, you know. But what I did get was a lot of love and support. And so growing up and into these businesses, that love and support continued. Because what I found out as an adult was that even as a child, people saw me as a person of getting stuff done. Jack, you always, now I'm not surprised now all these years later. I'm not surprised you doing this because even when we were kids, you were doing this. You were sweeping a community. You were organizing the little children in your block and cleaning up the streets. You were always doing something. I was like, really? You remember that? You saw me like that? And just to hear people talk about how I was back then, I didn't even realize that was me.
You didn't even realize you was doing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said to me that your current expertise is made up of your past situations. Ooh. And that sounds so simple, but it was just like, for real, like, I remember the moment I realized, oh, I'm a professional at this, at what I'm doing. Because to me, I'm just in front of a camera. But if I look at it on paper, I've been doing this 7-8 years. Mm-hmm. But it's just how things go. It always would talk like, oh, yeah, you know, I used to want to be. And they're like, no, you are. You are actively doing it. It's just, it's that acceptance. So I completely relate to that where it's like, oh, I was running this. Oh, I was actually
Well, I can say that I've seen some of your podcasts and I've seen your growth.
For sure. I laugh about that all the time. I go back and watch it. That first one, I'm sitting there like this. And I think it's so fun. I watch that maybe like once a month.
Okay.
I watched the very first episode because I still have the video on here on my podcast. The video isn't up no more. It's just the audio because the camera used to cut out. I used to have so many different things happen during that podcast. People would come in the office. I'm sitting there. Now it's a little different.
Yeah.
So the growth is very.
And that's what I was actually explaining to your dad because, you know, sometimes people wait until things are perfect to start.
You'll never be perfect.
They'll never be perfect, and you'll never start if you hold on to that. Yeah. So you just start it, and you let it grow, and you build from what you have. In the chill spot, we came into so many obstacles. Oh my God! I purchased this building in January. It was like really a birthday gift, and because we should be good to each other. We should be good to each other, but we should also be good to ourselves. And that's very important to me. I have to be good to myself. I like certain things. I like cool, funky glasses.
I actually really like those glasses too.
I had these custom made. I have a collection of glasses from a black designer and distributor. If he fits them to my face. He measures my face. I pick the colors, the shape, the size, and what I want where, and he puts it all together. And then I take them to a black-owned Sterling Optical. It takes me like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half to get to them. But the customer service is off the charts. I love them. They're like family and friends now. I take them. I go there. They know me, and they always get my prescription straight. If I say something's not right with my prescription, like I feel like it's going over here or whatever. They always like, no worries, we got you. And they always fix them until I am comfortable and happy. And I love that. Customer service is everything to me. But starting the chill spot was one hiccup after another hiccup after another. And a week before we were supposed to open in June, which was the hottest, one of the hottest months, the beginning of the hot.
Gosh, the summer
right?
was crazy.
Right. We had a flood May the 25th. A toilet on the third floor decided it did not want to be a toilet anymore. It wanted to be a water fountain, and it flooded this, and it ran for days and flooded from the third floor to the second floor to this floor to the basement, and it dropped the ceiling. So all of this over here, thank God, none of this artwork was up. All of this was just destroyed, and it was just. And the students were with me when I found out. They was like, Ma, I don't see how you could do it. I would have quit. I would have ran out in the street crying. I would have did this and I would have did that. I said, what would that have done?
Nothing.
It would not have solved the problem. You got to think logically in the moment. First thing, boom, let me move my custom chess set out of the way because now it's destroyed.
The custom chess set.
Yes, that is one of them. That wasn't even the one that was messed up in a flood. And the guy who made my chess sets, I had 3 of them. The guy who made them 22 years ago restored it. So it's upstairs, but he restored it and he refinished all 3 of my chess sets and the stools. And I found him, and I'm so glad. He's another brother. I believe in black business. I believe strongly in black business. And so we reconnected. He comes here a lot. He's here at least once or twice a week playing chess or just chilling in a chill spot. My contractors are black. The art is Windows Supreme. We have 11 pieces in here.
Yeah, I was sitting here looking at the art because I'm trying to get into art actually. That's one of the things I've been getting into. And I'm sure you see my podcast. I got that big art thing in the back. I love that so much.
Yeah, it's gotta be for anything you do. Let it be from your heart. If you do things from your heart, it will come across so wonderfully because it's gonna be intentional. You know, it's gonna be your passion and things that's why I can't fake cooking.
Yeah, food don't taste good. You ain't put no love into it.
Right, exactly. It's either in your heart or it's not. You either good at it or you're not. But I can build the heck out of some furniture. I can build. I build tables. I did this phenomenal mirror design, and it's just in my hall down at my other building. And I just like to do things. I like to decorate. I like to create environments that people love to be comfortable in.
Yeah, this is really nice.
Thank you.
So before I close out, is there anything that you would want to say to anybody watching? Any advice?
Live life while you still can, right? Because tomorrow's not promised to us. This is something my dad taught me a long time ago. He said, Jack, you are great. You are a very nice person. Don't let anybody take that away from you. If they don't like you and accept you for who you are, forget them. Mind you, my dad cursed a lot, so it wasn't that F word, it was the other one. But I live by that. And when I tell you, it changed my whole life. Because if you don't love me and accept me for who I am and I'm doing the best I can do, forget you. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to continue being great to somebody else, to somebody else who loves me and appreciates me. And so once he told me that, man, that's what I taught my daughters. That's what I taught my daughters, because we deserve love, we deserve peace, and we deserve happiness. And if you're not for me, you against me, and you don't need to be around me. I don't deal with negative energy. People say, how you look so good? Let me share something with you, baby. People say, how you look so good for your age? I don't deal with crap. I don't do well with foolishness. I don't do well with negativity or negative energy. You come into my life, we're going to share. It's reciprocated. It's not just a give. It's not just a take. We're going to give and take. And it's not tit for tat. It's reciprocated. You understand? Mm-hmm. And so the Black Wall Street Expo allows me to highlight Black-owned businesses, but it also allows them, give people an opportunity to pour into connects. Because what happens with the money from the Black Wall Street Expo is that all of that money pours into producing it for the next session, for the next season, and whatever is left helps to support the fishing trip that the students go to in Boston. That's a very expensive trip. We have to rent a van to drive up there because there's so many of us now. We can't get on the bus with everybody else. So now there are 2 coach buses that we follow. We get there, we go offshore fishing. So the students go for free. So all of the things that happens in our program is through donations. So thank you for donating. Thank you for caring. Thank you for supporting. But while you're supporting, none of that goes in my pocket. It all goes to the program.
All right. And with that, can I get you to say this is the Black Caliber Podcast?
This is the Black Caliber Podcast.
Distinction at its finest.
Distinction at its finest. Over. What you think you was doing? What were you doing? What were you doing over there?
I was just soulish. She was going off. I'm like, this is really good. I said, something got to be wrong. It's going too drunk. The camera. So, the camera recording, yeah. So we do have I have the audio from it. It's not coming through the board. Right, so you guys can't see right before I even started. My dad is on the soundboard. Oh, I'm glad I caught that early and not late, though. I would have been very upset.
It's okay.
All right. Well, I guess I got to restart.
Oh, perfect. We'll restart.
I'm ready now. I'm ready. Yeah. I hope so.
You know, when you try.
Me. Like, yeah, you ready? Say, you said you ready? I seen it to record little brain. I thought the record is red. Like, we go. We putting that in the back. It's gonna be at the end of the video. All right. So this time now we recording, right? So 3. Put my laptop back in my lap. What sucks? 3, 2, 1.